You a man now, Kanan. It's time to get it.
So, as we finish season 1, Raq was on top of the game, so she thinks anyway, because even though she got rid of her main rival, Unique, and Kanan out of the city, Detective Howard remained alive, but she also knows she faces a huge task in trying to keep the Thomas family together, and this is what part of the new trailer shows us, the struggle and broken family who have burned way too many bridges, and will no doubt continue to burn more. We've also got Jukebox telling Kanan what Raq made him do was wrong. Now we've also got Lulu fighting back because he doesn't want to end up dead or in jail, and this is what Raq is facing. She's creating a lot of enemies from within and in the game. For example, Salvacelli, the new Italian mob boss. So with that being said, we've got our first official look at the trailer for Raising Kanan Season 2, and it showed there's going to be a lot of problems within the Thomas family and organization. We're also going to see Kanan's weak but darker side. Jukebox will be fighting her own battles when it comes to her mom Kenya, and also from Nicole's death, along with the troubles with Marvin, and so will Lulu wanting out of the game. So we're gonna break down this trailer scene by scene, and there's no better place to start than looking at the relationship between Kanan and Raq. So we've got Raq telling Kanan he's got into an age where he needs to know what he wants in life. But the problem with Kanan is, he knows what he wants and he knows what he wants to be. He's just way too young and too eager. He basically wants to run before he can walk, and that's not how it works in this game, which is what Raq was trying to teach him in season 1. Everyone in this game started from the bottom, whether you were Ghost and Tommy landing on the Breeze and Kanan, to Raq landing on the Defcon and High Post. But we hear Kanan telling Raq he doesn't think he's cut out for this game because he wasn't able to protect Raq the way she wanted, and the reason why Kanan was saying this in the trailer was because he probably learned Detective Howard was alive, and Howard being alive is going to cause a few issues which Raq is going to try and bury by introducing Kanan to yet another lie. So this I believe is Defcon Stark. High Post was Raq's previous boyfriend, who we got a glimpse of in the flashback, but Defcon Stark was spoken of, but never confirmed dead or alive in season 1. Now, Raq has kept Kanan away from the truth for 15 years, so why all of a sudden is she allowing Kanan to speak to Defcon Stark? And the simple answer is, Kanan will be getting closer to the truth about who Detective Howard really is, and we even see them meeting in the trailer, so it's going to be interesting to see how this conversation goes down, especially after Howard knows it was Kanan who shot him, but knowing it was Raq pulling the strings from behind. But when Raq finds out he is alive, I can imagine Raq pushing Kanan to go in to see Defcon to cover up the real truth. Another reason why Raq could have sent Kanan to Defcon is because Kanan's never had a real father figure, so Kanan's missed being mentored and nurtured by an older man, and he tells him it's time to get it. So we see Kanan on the corners hustling with Famous, and then we see a cop pull up, and now he's gonna have to stick and move just like Scrappy did in season 1 episode 3, but he won't, because as the trailer shows us them being caught, so he's still got a lot to learn. But coming back to Defcon, what Raq is doing with allowing Kanan to visit Defcon is, she's digging even deeper in terms of her lies and manipulation, and when Kanan does find out the truth, all hell really will break loose. But talking about digging deeper, we also see Raq and Kanan burying someone, because just like she told Symphony, she knows what his son is capable of. But Symphony's also right, Kanan is scared, and let's not forget that's what Raq told him to be scared. Be scared of her or be scared of them, because it's the fear that keeps you alive.
I'm scared, Kanan. And I need you to be here with me, because that fear keeps us alert and awake. It keeps us alive. So be scared.
So this is what Raq told Kanan, because he needed to learn to keep his head on a swivel and be on his toes, because that's what's needed in this game. Raquel knows it, but Kanan doesn't. But now Kanan needs to turn that scared mentality into anger and ruthlessness, and this is what we see from Kanan in this trailer. We see both sides. We see the scared Kanan and we see the much darker Kanan, and I do think we're going to see a much darker Kanan towards the second half of the season, because it's not just the Detective Howard truth that's the problem. Jukebox told him Raq should have never have asked him to do what he did, and I think he's going to start to realize just how much of a fucked up thing Raq asked him to do. But let's move on and talk about Raquel expanding her organization, because this is going to be the aim of her game, expansion. But in this game, when you look to expand, sometimes you have to take territory. For example, when Ghost and Tommy stole the Seb's product, it left them with no choice but to use them as a supplier. And Raq is in essence going to be doing something similar. She's stepping into hostile mafia territory, and the new Italian mob boss, Sal Buscemi, isn't impressed, because Raq is creating a lot of problems. But Sal Buscemi isn't the only one who's got an issue with this, so has Lulu. Now we all know Lulu wants out of the game ever since he was forced to kill D-Wiz, and he's someone who doesn't want to either end up dead or in jail, and that's the point he was making to Raq about expanding her organization, because when the Italian mafia come for them, they're gonna come for all of them. But we all know what happens when someone questions Raq. We saw it in the very first episode of season 1 with Marvin, and we saw it again in this trailer with Lulu, and that's the problem with Raq. She always thinks she's right, and her problems with Lou isn't helping the cause, because Lulu is supposed to be Raq's real right hand, but that position may now be Marvin's, because if season 1 taught us one thing, it was Marvin who wasn't afraid to take it to Unique and take what's theirs. So where Lou may not be down with Raq's plan, Marvin may be. Although Marvin and Raq do normally do things different, but loyalty is a big part of who Marvin is, and they made a big point of his loyalty in season 1. Now sticking with Lulu, we also see a confrontation with Crown, something we saw in a previous teaser, and this is going to be an ongoing battle that I think we're going to see across season 2 in terms of their record label. But as we're also on the theme of Raquel's enemies, she's got way more than just Kanan, Howard and Lulu to worry about. There's always going to be the constant threat of law enforcement, and I do wonder who she's pointing her gun towards in Unique's place, especially because we see Unique in prison. And not only do we see Unique in prison, but he's gonna have to hold it down, because he's gonna be making a lot of enemies behind bars. But I really don't think Unique's case will stick, because we've seen it in power before with Ghost, Tommy, Kanan, and also 2-Bit and Lorenzo being released. So Unique being released at some point in the season could definitely add yet another problem for Raq. But let's move on and look at Jukebox, and our first look at Jukebox's mom, Kenya. Now we're gonna see them meeting at church, because church is a big part of Kenya's life, but she left Juke and Marvin when Juke was young and tried to make it in LA as a singer. And we see a scene where Kenya seems like she wants to reconnect with Juke, and with Juke still hurting from Nicole's death, she's got a huge void in her life. And then you can add into the mix what happened with her and Marvin. And I do think we may see Juke warm to Kenya after an awkward first exchange, but Kenya doesn't seem like she's warming to Marvin after delivering a slap across the face. But this trailer finishes with Raq telling Kanan he's the heir to her throne and is waiting for him. But the question is, will there be a business and organization left for Kanan by the time Raq's time does come to an end? Because the way she's going, she is setting herself up for a big fall, because she's creating enemies from within, new enemies, one which has a dark secret, and then there's Kanan, who I think is Raq's biggest weakness. But elsewhere in the trailer, it really does bring the old 90s vibe, just like season 1 did. And even though we saw a bit of action and violence, we never saw Marvin creating chaos, just like we did in season 1, because I think we're going to see a different side to Marvin, but I still do expect him to do Marvin things in season 2. We also get our first look at Cartier Duns Farid, and I believe this could be possibly Ziza, who's a beautiful and upcoming singer looking to make a name for herself with Lou and Crown's record label. And that's the official trailer for Raising Kanan season 2, and it really is going to be one hell of a season. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section on the trailer and your predictions for season 2. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.